Alright, hello everyone. It's mysticjuicer back with some more Yomi action. This is the start of a new event. This is Summer Smash 3. Myself versus ntillerman in the first round. ntillerman not a player that I've played a bunch. Not a player I'm a huge fan of personally, but a very strong player nonetheless, so definitely nervous as part of this set. I was debating going into this whether I would start with Rook or Onimaru. I expected basically either to face Geiger or De Grey as a Onimaru counter pick. So I see Geiger first. I elect to go to try to put into action kind of a theoretical anti-Geiger technology that I've been thinking might be more effective than my previous approach. Previously, I played this match really aggressively, basically doing a lot of throwing to try to catch blocks from Geiger. And the reasoning there is that, you know, it trades fairly well with Jack as time spirals. The issue there is that you get worn down very quickly with high normals, and Geiger can put out a lot of damage with 5 attacks, 6 attacks, 7 attack. You know, 5, 6, 7 into Jack deals just a lot of hurt. And then, you know, the reason this matchup is particularly bad for Rook is that Geiger enters the late game just far faster than you do. And Rook is kind of a slow character anyway, so you're probably going to be winning if you're winning in the late game. He's not exactly a rushdown character. So the more of your hit points you can conserve in this matchup going into there, and the longer you can prolong the earlier stage of the game where you kind of because you have the dominant throws, you kind of have an easier time blocking against Geiger than other characters would. I was expecting a standard kind of cross-up play from ntillerman at that point, so end up losing ace there. So we go back to blocking. He is at 10 cards now, so this is less effective because he probably has the spirals he needs, and he also has the hand that can sustain like spiral, throw, and damage. So just puts me on the ground there, luckily. And sorry about the lack of player cam. I also didn't know. I think I was still trying to get a commentary cam working, and didn't realize that wasn't the thing that would work. Okay, so there he goes for the cross-up. Glad he eventually tried to do it. Just going to deal 9 damage. 8-card hand is better than... Or 9-card hand is better than an 8-card hand, in my opinion, by pretty significant margin. We're still getting a lot of blocks off, so this is good. This is working out well. If he does throw us, I'm really conserving the jokers kind of for cross-up attempts. So I'm just going to keep blocking from this position. I can even put them down here if I expect him to really commit to anything. But elect not to. Still going to cost him a fair amount of cards. Just spends 2. So he's playing what I consider to be the style of Geiger that gives Rook the most trouble in this matchup. In terms of his use of spirals, where he is spending them in places where it goes for the cross-up attempt again. So here I'm going to spend the Joker because they're not going to be of any use in the late game. So even if he doesn't follow this up, it's fine. But the name of the game, like, it would be nice if he followed it up and he spent some more cards, but it's really more ideal to prevent the damage. That's really all we're hoping for. He's got R&D. We still got a fairly good hand. We haven't really been able to power up anything. Silmarian with the cheek. In any case, we've got an okay hand. We've got Jack, although we're lacking the 8, which really makes it super good. Jack 7-8, be really nice. Right now, the only thing we can really do is like Jack Queen, which really takes a lot of rock armor options off the table. Although I guess in this matchup that doesn't matter all that much, so probably fine. I'm gonna go for the throw attempt again. Although he really has 10, he's got 10 cards in hand. He's probably not gonna go for a block from this position. Yeah, okay, so we counter throw, luckily, which is nice too. At least get a little bit of damage in. We have cross-up possibility here, although very difficult to get any cross-ups in on Geiger, especially if he's playing the way that ntillerman is, which is probably hit confirming into King. So I got the option, basically I'm blocking or I'm 7 attack. Joker is pretty good, because you probably want to be aggressive with 10 cards in hand. And that fuels his damage potential considerably. That second Joker that I have in my hand is probably useless at this point. Expecting Temporal Distortion to go up, yeah. And with an 11 card hand, incredibly likely, I feel like that he's going to throw me here to get around a special block. Block is also a really good option select there. Basically, unless I'm feeling incredibly gutsy and willing to throw from that position, he's going to be perfectly safe. So again, going to play into the potential attack reveal because I want him to throw me. And unfortunately, he does the smart thing and just jacks. He might have enough damage to kill here anyway. Yeah, if he's got 4 aces, that's 42, and he's just needs to find two more random spirals. Yeah, so this is lethal. Oh no, it's not. Okay. So it's been a really long time since this set was played, so I have no idea. So I'm still at 9. And he's got 8 cards in hand on this next turn. Get aces. We are now playing special block, ace, ace, king throw, essentially, for the rest of the set. Can no longer afford to trade. King attack from him is very safe here. Double Distortion again, so doesn't have much left in the tank, is the implication. Obviously, if he had more spirals, probably would have played him earlier. But we do get the king throw, which is nice. This is down to 7, which isn't any particularly more dead than when we were at 9. And it does get rid of both of his temporal distortions. Does have a single queen in hand. Got 2 special blocks and ace ace. All of that's good. So basically we just died a king. That's just the choice we have to live with the fact that that's the case. I think he's going to play around ace-ace, and he doesn't, and ends up killing. No way he's not following that up. So, he takes game 1, and we start to ride the carousel, so I'm going to switch immediately to Onimaru, and then I'll have to deal with the Onimaru counterpick of either Argagarg or De Grey. I felt pretty good about the way that game went in general. I kind of played really greedy at the end there, but you basically have to play greedy in the end game. If he decides to throw you and you do the smart thing and block, he just kills you. If he decides to attack you and you do the risky thing of throw, you know, it just kills you. You gotta pick the way you want to die, and I decided I wanted to die to attacks. Alright, so we've got no great hand to start off with, so we're just gonna block. Block with the 2, get some more cards in hand. Again, I haven't played ntillerman all that much. I believe I played him once in casuals back way back when I was still learning the game at all. So I don't have a strong read on his tendencies. I am making some informed decisions of how he likes to operate, but yeah, I don't have the read on him. He would probably contest the fact that you could have a read on him, although I probably disagree on that. In any case, so yes, Onimaru versus Geiger. It's basically a very similar kind of game as Rook versus Geiger, except in the early game, Onimaru is oppressing with the threat of high normals, and Geiger is just basically trying to navigate to a position where he has a good block, so he's got a 9 block there. He starts feeling more safe. And you basically, as Onimaru, you want to be blocking until you've got this insane hand like I currently do, and then you can start dodging, start making him feel unsafe about protecting his blocks with attacks, and then you can start attacking his blocks. You can start dodging, you've got much higher payoff off of dodge than he does if he wants to be protecting himself by dodging. So yeah, he showed me the 9 block and then immediately played a normal poke to try to protect it from 10s. I'm going to play into this. I don't want him to get away with face downing free. I didn't, the fact that I 6 attack there indicates that I don't have all that great options. So I'm actually kind of surprised that he's spiraling here. Probably, he's trying to catch either a throw attempt or a top-decked king, or a top-decked 10, I should say. But now I've got 2 attached aces, so I've got a ton of damage. So the threat is now either face card or high normal. I'm starting to dodge to make him want to reach for me. I'm going to mix it up with a throw to try to get rid of this pesky 9 block. Instead get hit with a 2. It's early days yet. He can combo me with his 12 card hand. I'm not particularly scared. Yeah, 12 damage is fine. We've got all the queens we need. Just trying to find a high normal. There we go. Hey! Alright, immediate temporal distortion. So I think strong possibility of a block from this position. He's got a huge hand, so it's really not, like, the anticipated move is that he's going to be aggressive because he's got the hand to be aggressive. But what I'm really worried about is that he's going to dodge. Luckily, he 9 blocks to try to defuse the threat of Clockwork Soldiers. So instead, we deal him 20 damage and get rid of one of his blocks and also get rid of Temporal Distortion, which is pretty great. Yeah, I'm going to put a 6 on there because we've got 5s for blocking. 5s aren't particularly good in this matchup, I feel like. Geiger is probably going to be leading mostly throws and spirals. So I don't mind having 5s for blocking in neutral. I'm going to try to queen him. He gets sassy. I have 2 attached aces, so I don't mind too much if he blocks this and, gets rid of one of them. And if he does anything, if he pushes a button, then he's taking 25, so that's pretty good too. Okay, so we get 1 ace diffused. Still have a very, very healthy hand. Because this is a control matchup, I can let the kings accumulate for a little while and see if I get, like, 3. 4 is the dream, obviously, but 3 is probably the most realistic amount that we're going to find. Decided to go back to blocking. Hasn't really been particularly aggressive, but he has been poking here and there. And I think the blocking is far more likely. I'm going to see if I want to double down on queen into queen, basically. Like, oh, he certainly definitely won't play a queen from this, or another face card from this position. Therefore, I should definitely play another face card from this position. But luckily, I don't fall into that trap. So he's got a 10 block. Awkward for me. I do not have a 10 attack. My options are kind of obvious face card to beat any kind of aggressive option. Side that is probably too obvious and I can safely throw him here. Or more safely than usual. Just going to pump it once. I don't want to go too low hand. I want to conserve as many things as possible. That is the second known ace, I believe. Go back to blocking. Really glad to block that. Do not want to sit in a position where I'm knocked down against Temporal Distorted Geiger. Life totals are still very, very close. Very close. Just as I say that, I swear I've forgotten, like, what ends up happening where. It's been a really long time since that happened, but this could be basically the nail in the coffin here. So he does have the Joker, but we still find 15 damage. Game might have been over there if he didn't have the Joker, so that is 2. He is now playing without protection. Every successful dodge is now going to lead into very good damage. Yeah. All of this is now free. I don't mind about following up. Yeah, just double check to see what Jokers are out there. Again, keeping the kings because they're my only pumpable move at this point. Third, I think, yeah, third Temporal Distortion? Or fourth? Third, I think, yeah. He's still got, I mean, if he lands something, I am dead. I'm probably going to explode. Luckily, we're able to get him to be antsy and deal 10, get rid of that other Temporal Distortion, and once again we're out of the nightmare scenario. Okay, so there's the fourth, yeah, so it was 3. And we can still be safe. We haven't spent any final authorities yet. We have the dominant throw. Possibility of dodges, but decide to just play the damn thing. Close it out with queen. So yeah, ended up working out really, really nicely for us. But that was much closer than the life totals make it seem. Any of those Temporal Distortion turns where he went with an attack or a throw could have been absolutely awful and utterly game-winning for him. Given the amount of cards he had and the length of time he was able to assemble stuff. So switches to Argugarg, very strong character against Onimaru. My approach in this matchup is basically really heavily block, dodge, and throw. And unless Argugarg is showing that he's willing to throw a lot, then you can basically put him in the same position that he's trying to put you, where he's blocking a lot because you definitely can't throw a lot, and if you block, you take damage. So you just have to be really, really patient and realize that there's not much payoff that Argugarg can get, except on cross-up attempts like this. So I go for the less expected odd block, just because there's way more valuable stuff on his odd blocks. His 5 is great attack, his 7 is the dominant throw, his 9 has final authority. So luckily managed to avoid a 5 there. Now we're sitting on an 11 card hand. Our dodges deal 20. Our throws are going to deal a good amount of damage as well. And we're going to see how willing Argarg is to throw us, basically. As long as we don't get hit by Bubble Shield, we should be okay. Yeah, we're going to get thrown. It's fine. It's going to work. We have the hit points to potentially do this. So tons of 9s, which are actually really good in this matchup just as throws. You really only need one final authority as an attack, like as its ability. Again, one of those matchups where it's not unreasonable to wait for a billion kings and potentially just murder him with a bajillion damage. So thought about 10 attacking. Really glad I didn't, because that was a. Oh no, he retrieved the ace. I didn't know if that was a secret bubble shield or not. So he's just pressing the shield button. So we're getting our throws in, for our 10 plus damage throws. Only need to land 8 of them. So Oni doesn't have a ton of them, but you know, you only need to hit a certain amount. So power's up for 2 aces. Threat is ace-ace. Far more likely that he's going to block here. So we don't want to get hit with cross-up or like, don't want to get hit with ace-ace. 16 damage is quite a lot. Luckily, he rolls us a good result. We'll pump with single ace. No face cards in hand, but we've got a ton of throws. No dodges, which is unfortunate. Would be nice to have a dodge too. I'm going to block a little bit. And yeah, he gets some payoff off of throw, but it's basically the same damage that Onimaru gets off of throw. And while Onimaru doesn't have the life lead in this matchup, unlike other matchups, it's still fine. You can still afford to play pretty slow if Argarg is playing pretty slow, and he has to also respect the fact that you know, you may decide to attack him. And if he happens to be throwing on that turn, then he's in a lot of trouble. So we're still, you know, comparatively close in the life lead, in the life totals. Catching a lot of throws here. Or a lot of blocks, I should say. Life lead, boys. No dodges still. Go back to blocking for a little bit. It's just, yeah, so that's the 4th ace. What I should be checking is how many of his throws that he's used and how many of them are 7s or 8s. Because while I have a ton of 9s, and those are good damage, they will lose to 7 and 8 throw. Okay, finally we have a face card, and finally we have a dodge. So we are pretty close to killing him here. Get a successful dodge off, that's going to put him down to 6, unless he has a joker. Yeah, so there goes that dodge. We have damage in hand. I mean, like, we've got 11. We're an 11 card Onimaru. We definitely have damage in hand. Nice thing is I do have a joker, so if I do get tagged with an attack, it's fine. Face down. I'm probably going to respect this. I don't get a ton of value off of pumping it here if it is a Joker. Yeah. And 9 damage is still absolutely fine. Puts him at 17, which is still death to pumps next time. Notably, it does put him in range of both the 9 and the 10. I am at 22. Just quick check to see how many dodges that I've spent, because I think it's very likely that he's going to go for possible throw. The reason I'm throwing with a 10 here instead of the 9 is unknown, because the 9 is lethal. But the reason I feel comfortable throwing here is because I got the Joker, so I can Joker here with relative impunity. It's gonna advance my death counter, but he's one turn away from, like, one combo away from dying. Yeah, so he does follow it up just to try to close it out. That is all of his aces gone. Never mind. Puts 2 more aces in hand. I put another ace in hand just to, or actually no, I go for the deck because I believe, yeah. The reason I do it that way is because I want to put it in mind that I don't have the card. I was looking for a card to get Final Authority off of, so I have the threat of that, just to add that to the valuation. I end up drawing the other Joker, so I mean it's unlikely that he's going to be trying to combo into Blowfish Spikes from this position, but it is possible. So either we ace-ace, try to catch a throw, or we throw him. And again, don't know why I'm throwing with the 10 instead of the 9. 9 is a way better thing to throw with. I guess this could put him in a... Oh, and he doesn't face down either, so we get the kill for free, which is nice. There we go. Whew. Tense game. Tense game. Ended up working out well for us, though. Okay, so Onimar versus Gray. This is the matchup I was dreading. I hate this one way more than I do versus Argarg. You can't afford to play block. Like, you can't afford to play blocks as long in this matchup as you can against Arg, because Arg's throw damage just isn't all that great. Against DeGray, if you get thrown, you might take 30, and you just can't let that happen. that's not a winning strategy. So you just have to try to not get exploded. But yeah, the general idea here is that I'm going to try to win this game, but I'm going to switch to Rook after this. I have no expectations that I'm going to win this match. I guess the idea is early on, try to defend yourself against throws by attacking. Once he's made known ace known, then you've got to, start blocking and throwing it. It's just a way higher stakes guessing game, I feel like, than the Onimaru versus Argarg match. But I don't know. Maybe all the Args that have played my Onimaru have just been playing it wrong. It's entirely possible. I certainly wouldn't want to play like my Onimaru versus like Frau Rolo or Hydro's Argarg. Let's put it that way. Or Radix T1's Argarg. So yeah, we get that awesome 7 throw damage. So sick. So brutal. Managed to protect ourselves from a 3-poke. The other thing too in this matchup is my preferred style of Onimaru is really high hand Onimaru, as you can no doubt tell. And that just gets like bonus damage from Degray, so it just accelerates the amount you have to be right in. So we're not doing too badly here. We're dealing some damage. We're poking out some throws. We don't have any jokers yet, though. That's not great. Stand to see a few more jokers. See if we can get a dodge off. Nope. Them dodge trades, except they're not, because Degray's ace dodge is godlike. I'm gonna try to catch it here. We'll unfortunately get undercut by the 9, which makes us very, very sad. Face down just to make him think better of following up with Arbiter. This is still going to deal a tremendous amount of damage. Yeah. Yeah, it was the wrong side. Ah well. 25 off a throw. Pretty bad. We are at half his hit points already. It's not looking good. We still don't have any jokers. Try to throw again. And I'm kind of lost in this matchup. I don't know what to do. Just be right is kind of the name of the game. This is going to get followed up into Arbiter, so I need to face down to make him think about it. At least reduce some of that moral high ground damage. Alright, we escaped with only taking 5, so that worked out nicely. Alright, we finally got a Joker. So we can afford to play an attack. Getting attached to Ace would be super swell. Getting not hit by King would also be super swell. Now at 20, things are looking pretty dire. Don't really have the hand needed to sustain throws. Although that would be an excellent way to get outside of moral high ground damage. At least we spend the queen to avoid taking too much here. I think that might have been lethal. No, okay, would have been close though. 18. Power up for single ace, so I've got 2, so I can at least deal 20. Get some more throws, which aren't really helpful. We can't play a throw and go card neutral. We have to pump throws every time. I'm hoping I can catch him doing something silly. But he's just playing safe. That's gonna be it. Face down again, but it's very unlikely he's not gonna follow up with lethal. Okay, just throws, normal throw. No reason to play greedy from this position, for sure. Sitting at 12, and this is probably going to be the last... the next couple turns are going to be the last ones of this game. Just continues to ace dodge. I'm just not blocking enough in the late game here. I got thrown too many times in the early game and then didn't block enough. Just single throws, not overcommitting. So he could chip me out with raw pile bunker. But honestly, just dodging. Just dodging is probably fine. I think I end up throwing here because why not? Doesn't really matter. Oh, the double rhetoric on attacks. Wow, I definitely can't afford to attack now. So I throw here because I just want to deny him. I don't want to give him a perfect. The swag, a Joker discard. Alright, so he gets lethal. We're going to switch to Joker. We're going to switch to Rook. We're going to switch to Joker. Batman! Alright. Gonna go back into our standard game plan. Definitely a matchup I feel way more comfortable with. Like, basically, pick DeGray against me if you want a free win against my Onimaru. And then hopefully I don't kill you with my Rook. I guess. Is the plan. We're gonna deal some damage here. Got 2 kings and another jack and 10 in our hand, so that's pretty good. Good place to start. The name of the game is Don't Throw into Pile Bunker. So this is fine. We do lose our only block. But meh. Really glad to see him put himself at 5 cards. So he gets even in life again. We're going to try to go for the slap chop here. Gets the gold burst off. Unfortunate for us. That means a lot more damage on the table for him, but gold burst was basically checkmated my hand because I'm not about to special block on. So good read there. Well, I don't know. Okay play. He thought I was going to be aggressive, and I was. See if we can get some damage. We cannot. But it does tell him that we are terrified. So he might try to open us up with some throws. He also might start blocking because, you know, I've started to play special blocks. So why am I doing that? And maybe am I scared enough to play some more? So either way, it works. Find 15 damage. Working on a nice life lead. We find a normal block. So we can do king into king. We will. He is going to rotate this and win combat, but unless he's got Arbiter, this isn't going to lead into a tremendous amount of damage. Even if he does lead into Arbiter, we're gonna imply Joker here. Strongly imply Joker here. I don't care about losing a 10 either. It's not a valuable card in the matchup. Hey, he finally rolled something that was good for me. Alright, so we draw actual factual Joker, so that's pretty good. So it's block throw here. He's still got a pretty high hand. Seven attacks are not good. We can't use them for anything. We're gonna face down again. And why wouldn't we have played the Joker last time? Happily, we get the gold burst. Put ourselves back into some kind of hand. Yeah, probably should have rolled for it. Rolls were working out pretty nicely for him. We got a pair of 10s. We can use that for power-ups. Hopefully we can find a third 10 to put ace-ace on the table. Managed to not get exploded in the face with queen. Find ourselves a jack, which is very nice. Jack 7-8, a very nice tool in the matchup. Only loses to king and ace-ace. There's one king. I'm on the ground with 5 cards in hand. We have cross-up potential with the 7. So troublesome rhetoric here, probably on attacks, yeah. Do not cross me up, so I can just block here. It's perfectly fine. I don't mind blocking from this position. That's a really good combat win for me. For the price of giving up a cross-up attempt, we go to a huge hand, which now we just need to not get hit by Pile Bunker. So try to go for another Rock Armor setup. I would very likely have tried to go for 5, 6, 7 from that position. Basically, for the rest of the game, I am just playing not to lose to Pile Bunker. That's why the 5, which catches a 6, which is fine too. And we draw a second ace, which is awesome. Or we draw an ace off of the normal attack, which is great. Go looking for the other red ace because I've got a 10 and stuff. So ace-ace is fairly face-up. But hey, I figure, I don't know, I've been playing fairly like block-heavy after getting aces, so why not just do it, see what happens. I still have enough fuel in the tank to close this out. Does get single ace. Okay, no, does get double ace. We do have a lot of jacks and queens to play around that kind of stuff, though. So with 2 aces in hand, I figure it's far more likely... Yeah, that's exactly what we're not going to lose to, which is queen into ace-ace. I would much rather get ace dodged from this position. It's very unlikely that he has 3 aces, so the amount of damage he can deal off of a successful dodge is not particularly terrifying. King throw is pretty likely, I feel, from me here, so I am going to opt to queen him. Because again, queen loses to the known aces he has in hand, so I figure it's just crazy enough to work. Luckily managed to catch PCP, and that's going to be the game. And that puts me at 3-2. And yeah, so concede, and yeah, so fair enough. No reason to play out the game. So he does end up from here quitting the match, and we don't end up. So this is a first to 4 tournament. Tournament rules are first to 4. He doesn't end up taking the 4th match, and because he's under the impression that it's a first to 3. Didn't check the rules in the thread before getting into the game. Unfortunately, I was extremely busy the rest of this weekend, so we never ended up playing that last game, so I advanced over him 3-2 rather than playing out the rest of the series. So yeah, I guess just, you know, if you're playing in a tournament set, just make sure to double check the rules before you play, just as an item.